Yeah, you're seeing it right. Your boys for prize picks. Put in $5. Win or lose, you get $50 back. It's free bread, man. YouTube. What's good, YouTube? Boy, CDotty. I ain't gonna lie. Jimmy Hyrello, you better not piss me off, bro. The thumbnail's talking about overrated over Caitlin Clark's face. Are you serious? She changed the fucking game, nigga. Hopefully this is clickbait, bro. Let's get into it.
Some athletes are good. Some athletes are great. But very rarely does an athlete make such an impact that they begin to transcend their sport. You know, those times where an athlete is creating so much buzz that people who don't even follow the sport know their name. These athletes hardly ever come around. But when they do, you know something special is going on. Growing up, I used to skate, so of course I know who Tony Hawk is. But my mom also knows who Tony Hawk is. In a sport that tends to only retain the most die-hard fans, Usain Bolt was so incredible that he became a household name. And it also helped that his name sounds like he was destined to be the fastest man of all time. Ask the average person to name any golfer, and they'll instantly say Tiger Woods.
That's an insane name.
Followed by no one else. There are very few athletes that reach this level of popularity, where they almost single-handedly lift their sport to new heights. And right now, women's basketball is home to an athlete that may just be next in line to be one of these transcendent athletes. Caitlin Clark has only been in the WNBA for one season, and she is already the face of the league, drawing in more fans, viewers, money than ever before. But it hasn't come without harsh criticism, some of it targeted at the disproportionate admiration and attention being given to just one player, and some of this criticism claiming she simply isn't nearly as dominant as we are led to believe, a product of the sports media machine pushing their golden child. Is Caitlin Clark really as good as advertised, or have her talents been overblown for the sake of the WNBA and the future of women's basketball?
But that's probably the dumbest question I ever seen. Do y'all? Everybody has fucking eyeballs. Like, okay, bro.
Lifting up our sport.
Let me go ahead and skip this. I already know. skip.
The NCAA Basketball Championship accomplished something completely unprecedented. Throughout the game, they drew in nearly 19 million viewers, a number that shattered every NCAA women's record, exceeded the viewership of any men's tournament game over the last half-decade, and even surpassed every single NBA Finals game since 2018. The game was a groundbreaking spectacle, with people who had never even tuned into a single basketball game in their life turning on the TVs to see who would be crowned champions. The majority of this flocking attributed to one player, Caitlin Clark. Her unbelievable range and record-breaking performances proving to be must-watch TV. The true testament of her greatness and impact, all of the doubt and borderline detest that quickly followed her ascent. Some fans and players, both past and present, questioning if her talents would translate to the next level and if the horde of fans she inspired
fucking bots in the WNBA.
Follow. They did. Her WNBA debut attracted the most viewers of any WNBA game in the history of ESPN. Indiana's home game attendance jumped from an average of 4,000 fans last season to an average of over 17,000 fans this season, a more than 400% increase in just a single year. Transactions in the Fever's team store jumped over 700%, and WNBA viewership has skyrocketed to levels
I'm finna get a Caitlin Clark jersey too, so
advocates could not foresee. Game 4 of last year's WNBA Finals drew in more viewers than any WNBA game over the last 2 decades, with 728,000 fans tuning in for the game, living up to the hype as one of the most anticipated games in the history of the league. This season, there were 22 regular season games that eclipsed that mark. 21 of them drawing in over 1 million viewers.
Change the fucking
game. 18 of those 22 games featured Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. But the most revealing evidence of the now dubbed Caitlin Clark effect is the fact that WNBA viewership has nearly caught up with NBA viewership in 2024. On ESPN, NBA games averaged 1.56 million viewers this past season. WNBA games averaged 1.2 million viewers, a number that was inconceivable just a couple years ago. But Caitlin Clark's soaring popularity has been a point of contention for many fans of the WNBA. Frustrated that in a league that is bursting with talent right now, it's all just being overlooked for the poster child of women's basketball. Do Caitlin's abilities actually warrant the hype? In just her rookie season, Caitlin broke over a dozen league
Bro,
and
Caitlin haven't even had an off season yet. She literally went straight from college to the WNBA. Like, damn, this is college Caitlin Clark that you're seeing right here.
franchise records, including the WNBA's single season assist record. She set the record for the most assists in a single game. She received the most all-star votes of any player in WNBA history, set a new league record for double-doubles by a guard in a single season, scored the most points of any rookie in league history, and became the first rookie in WNBA history to put up a triple-double. Just this past week, it was announced that Caitlin made first-team All-WNBA, which makes her the first rookie to make first-team All-League since Candace Parker did it 16 years ago. Turns out those awe-inspiring performances from her days in college did in fact translate to the pros. Because even against the best defense in the world, she is pretty much an offensive cheat code. Throughout her rookie season, with points and assists, Clark generated 45.2% of all points
She's looking hittable right here, I'm not gonna lie.
produced by the Indiana Fever. For perspective,
She's looking
she has a
smackable.
larger offensive load
Not like that, not
than
like
single player
y'all know
in
what I
the
mean, bro.
NBA last season, outside of Luka Doncic. And she's a rookie. But to really understand Caitlin's unparalleled offensive prowess, here are the 200 most productive
Bro, y'all know
offensive...
that they had a transformer just retired from the WNBA. I'm like, bro, what? And you wasn't down, bro. I'm about to let me get on the Fever. Bro, during the WNBA season, I identify as a woman. Get me on the team. Fuck.
seasons in
Like,
WNBA
how do I sign up for that
history on a
shit?
scale of points generated per game.
Like, what the,
And among these seasons,
how do
you'll
I
find
sign
the
up?
greatest players in the league.
Where did the Transformers
Lisa
sign up at?
Leslie, Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Swoops,
Or the
Candace Parker, and
identifiers?
Angel McCoughtry have tons
I'm an
of
identifier
seasons littered throughout
for
this
the
chart.
WNBA
Climb
season.
towards the top, and you'll find seasons from Asia Wilson and Cynthia Cooper. But with 4 of the top 10 most productive offensive seasons in WNBA history is Diana Taurasi, her 2006 campaign being the best of them all, producing 33.9 points per game. And then there's Caitlin Clark, who is already the most potent offensive player in the history of the WNBA in her rookie season.
By a
Women's Hoops
landslide.
has never seen a player like this. And as absurd as her numbers are, how she puts up these numbers is just as incredible. Here are the players who attempt the longest three-pointers on average in the NBA last season, with Trae Young leading the league with the deepest three-point attempts with an average distance of 27.94 feet, and Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry just a shade closer. Despite it still being worth the same amount of points, the longest shooters in the NBA are stepping 4 feet outside the three-point line on their attempts. But even amongst the deepest shooters in the world, Caitlin Clark is on her own island, because throughout the 2024 regular season, her average three-point distance was 28.1 feet, which is not only further than any player in the NBA and in the WNBA, it is a whopping 6 feet out from the WNBA three-point line. Has Caitlin Clark been worth all the attention and hype that has engulfed her over the last 2 years? Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
She didn't just...
Okay, Jimmy, my bad if I blitz you. I don't think I blitzed you, but I was about to blitz you in the beginning, but good thing I gave you a chance. It was clickbait, guys. I got clickbaited.
Successful rookie season. She had one of the best rookie seasons in recent basketball history.
I was watching it regardless,
and this isn't
though.
just to her benefit, but the benefit of the entire WNBA. Because the seismic boost in the WNBA's popularity this season is not limited to those turning on the games to see what she'll do next. It can also be found in the fans actually showing up to the games. Looking at a chart of the average attendance of WNBA games since the inception of the league in 1997 will tell you a story of a league that has seen their fair share of good days and bad ones. In 1997, there were only 8 WNBA teams, all with really healthy attendance numbers due to the excitement of a new women's league. The league quickly expanded to 16 teams, with a handful of teams emerging as fan favorites, like the Washington Mystics, the Phoenix Mercury, and the LA Sparks. But with a massive league expansion came a nearly equal retraction. Many teams folding along the way, such as the Soul, Fire, Miracle, and Sting. But it wasn't until COVID where the league's once steady fan base was wiped out. In 2020, there were no fans in attendance due to COVID protocols, and when play resumed in 2021, attendance was at an all-time low, a number that has been quickly rising in the few years since the pandemic, but has specifically seen an explosion this season. where for the first time, league attendance was higher than the WNBA's inaugural season. The Indiana Fever seeing the highest attendance numbers in league history, nearly selling out every single home game. In a league where attracting the casual fan has been a seemingly insurmountable task, Caitlin Clark has defied the odds by not only drawing in new fans for her and her team, but rising the tides for the entire league. This is completely unprecedented, at least in the WNBA it is. But there was a time when the NBA was facing similar struggles until a pair of players showed up and changed everything. After the success of the Celtics in the 1960s, the NBA's growth in popularity had come to a grinding halt in the 70s. The league had a rampant drug problem. An emerging rival league known as the ABA was picking up steam, and the NBA didn't really have a face to propel the league into the next decade. Jerry West was on his way out. Kareem was incredible, but he didn't really have the personality or charm that fans gravitate towards. Bill Walton's prime was cut short due to injuries, and many fans felt Julius Erving's introduction to the league after leaving the ABA in 1976 was a bit short of what was advertised. Many games were lucky to see even half capacity in attendance. Many teams were losing money. The NBA had fallen to a, quote, second-tier sport behind the NFL, MLB, and NHL. All of this culminating to the point where some networks infamously had NBA Finals games on tape delay in the late 70s due to low ratings. The league was in desperate need of a generational...
Them niggas did... They recorded the fucking NBA Finals and then just... That is
transcendent
ass.
Superstar.
That is
lucky
ass.
For them. They got two. Coming off the most popular rivalry in the history of college basketball.
Niggas was able to go to the game, go home, and watch it.
Larry Bird and Magic
watch it with the world.
Propelled the league to new heights in the 80s, transforming the NBA from a second-rate league into a behemoth of sports and entertainment. A tandem that many longtime NBA fans say saved the NBA. Now, this isn't to say Caitlin is the second coming of two of the greatest, most important figures in the history of basketball, but her impact on the sport at such an early stage in her career has reached a level reminiscent of some of the most influential athletes of all time relative to their sport. Because her popularity hasn't just affected her, it has had a cascading effect on players across the entire WNBA. Clark has essentially become the gateway to NBA fandom for many people. They come to witness the phenomenon that she is and end up staying once they see just how awesome the league and its players are.
Yeah, because, bro, Mitchell, her teammate, bro, she is disgusting, bro. Like, she's damn near one of the best in the league. And she's been on the Fever.
Around the league are signing groundbreaking endorsement deals. Teams now have their own planes and new facilities. Many WNBA players have become household names, some of the most recognizable figures in sports today. There is real, genuine discourse about the games and the players right now that exists beyond the diehard fans. Conversations about the WNBA are now no longer about the legitimacy of the league itself, but instead about its players, records being broken, rivalries, the playoffs, title hopes, the draft, and up-and-coming prospects. It's understandable that Caitlin's explosion in popularity has caused a lot of tension. Why is she getting all the attention when there's tons of great players around the league doing great things?
Because she's
the
different.
Answer to that question? Well, that depends on who you ask. But
people like seeing that deep shot go in, bro, consistently. Like, and she's saucy. She got the swag, bro. It's that simple.
But there's no denying the widespread impact Clark has made on the league.
She got handles. She got those deep ball.
For years, players in the WNBA pushed for people to give their talents and their skills.
Bro, let Rob Dillingham. That nigga probably up there with the best handles in the league already, and he hasn't even fucking dribbled in the second in it. He's already probably the best handler in the league. Let him have a Curry jumper. Nigga's gonna be on his meat, no Diddy.
And in record numbers, people finally are. Now, what it took to get them to tune in may not be the most ideal circumstance, where for many casual fans, one player is overshadowing the vast majority of an entire league, but it's 1,000 steps in the right direction. Whether the Caitlin Clark effect will have a lasting impact on the league and retain these new viewers and fans and continue to draw in more in the future is something that only time will tell. But one season in, and she is on a path to being one of the very few truly game-changing athletes of her generation. And yes, she's got all the talent to back it up.
Yep, she sure fucking do. The GOAT of the WNBA. Deal with it. Suck it up and deal with it.